Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Avon Chamber's Chamber Chat 10 at 10. This morning, we're here with Susan Levine of Women Reshaping Lives. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, Lisa. It's so wonderful to be here with you.
Oh, so nice to be here with you as well. Can you tell me again the name of your business and how long you have been doing your business?
My business is Women Reshaping Lives, and it is a counseling practice, and it has been open for 8 years. My business, I specialize in supporting women through major life transitions, and that might be divorce or empty nest, career transition, retirement, bereavement, recovery issues, or caregiving issues. And I was able to start my practice or envisioned my practice at the time where I was going through my own life transition, and that was one of retirement. I had been a licensed professional counselor and also a clergy person. In fact, actually, at this point, I've been a Connecticut licensed professional counselor for over 20 years. I've also been a counselor at Bethany Pastoral Counseling Services for 15 years. And I pursued my counseling degree to help the needs of my congregants in my pastoral role in the congregation, never envisioning that in my retirement, I would find the opportunity to start my own business and form my own counseling practice. It was a wonderful opportunity for me to envision what I wanted that counseling practice to be. And I did want it to reflect who I am, and that transitions are very hard for all of us. Change comes to us at all times, and it challenges our self-beliefs, our values, how we know and view ourselves. And when we have life decisions to make, negative messages kind of pop up like weeds for us. Anxieties and fears and roadblocks to having the self-confidence and clarity to make healthy decisions. And so I help women sort through that and to find support for transformative change. And I truly believe that counseling is a process of healing and learning and growing.
So tell me, Susan, during these unusual times that we're in, how are you doing business currently?
Currently, I am doing business both virtually and in person. And this has been process for me. Initially, I did need to close my office, but then I was able to reopen. Very fortunate to be housed within the Simsbury Chiropractic and Wellness Center. And I'm surrounded by holistic healers that already were following the CDC guidelines. They were very helpful to me in helping me make sure that I was setting things up in terms of temperature checks and masking and all of the things that we need to do. And it also provided an atmosphere of additional safety that I'm offering my clients. During the wintertime, while the office was closed, I did take the opportunity to be part of a webinar course on telemental health. And I became certified as a clinical telemental health provider. So now I can offer, now that I'm open, I can offer clients the flexibility of choosing either in-person or telemental health sessions. Sometimes women have difficulties with maybe work schedule or family situation where they can't get into the office. And then rather than having to cancel a session or not have that session, we can meet virtually over the phone or video. And so it really supports the therapeutic process. So I'm very happy to really have that flexibility to expand what I offer my clients.
So, keeping on that note of flexibility, are you finding other services that you have been able to offer now that might be different from what you normally did prior to the pandemic, but related to what you do still?
Yes, actually. Well, prior to the pandemic, I offered a group experience in the form of an empowered women's circle that was a mini retreat that I offered maybe once every few months. And we talk about subjects of mindfulness or setting healthy boundaries, negative self messages, or self care for caregivers. Now, in fact, it's coming up next week. I'm very happy to offer via Zoom a group experience that is a lunch bunch, a COVID reaction support group. And that is starting next Wednesday, November 18th, and it's going to run through January. The idea of the group is to have space for women to express their feelings about living in this time of uncertainty, how COVID affects their lives, what their COVID fatigue is like, and that in that conversation that we have with each other, they don't feel so isolated. We'll talk about how to deal with the holidays coming up. That's a very pressing issue, I think, for all of us in these days, and very tough. We're going to talk about coping strategies and self-care tips. How do we get through? And I think another thing that we're going to talk about is what we've learned from this COVID experience that maybe surprised us. I know we think about how, well, it's hard to remember what day it is. It's, hard to feel the schedule or the structure that we're used to. But I think there are other things that we may have discovered about what it's like to slow down, what it's like to maybe find other things that are important to us, whether it's new hobbies, but also new ways of connection that leave us feeling a little less isolated. So I'm very excited about this group coming up.
Yes, I can tell.
Mm.
So, Susan, how are you looking forward to connecting with your clients in the coming months?
In the coming months, I'm going to continue actually some of the things that I've been doing for quite a while. And one of them is that I send out a monthly newsletter. I also blog on my website. The newsletter covers topics about holidays, about life transitions, about different things that are included in how we transition into new spaces. I'm constantly adding new readers, new subscribers to my newsletter, and I have steady readers as well. In fact, recently in advertising my COVID reaction support group, a reader that I've known who's been reading for quite a while reached out to me. And while she's moved out of state, she was interested in joining the group. And it was wonderful to reconnect, and hopefully she'll be able to join us. And that's what Zoom kind of allows us to do, to reach beyond the state of Connecticut to other places. I also post on social media, on Facebook and LinkedIn. And something very important to me is that I offer a free consult to all prospective clients. I find that it's very, very important to know that we have the right fit, the best relationship between therapist and client. That gives the client the opportunity for the best results, the best work, the best growing that they can do. And so if someone's interested in working with me, they can come in, meet with me. Actually, these days they can meet with me either in person or virtually. And we spend some time talking about what their needs are, what their experience has been with counseling. I get to tell them about Women Reshaping Lives, and they can ask me any questions that they have about the practice or how I work. And through that conversation, we can kind of get a sense of how we relate to each other and whether this is a good fit for them. And I'm very, very happy to offer that to anyone who is interested in my services.
So, one final question, Susan, is that do you have any thoughts, advice, ideas um, for your fellow chamber member businesses to help them move forward?
I do, and some of the things that I would suggest are the same things that I'm doing, that I think it's a good thing for all of us to do when we're feeling overwhelmed by this whole uncertain situation. Well, the first thing is to take a deep breath and to kind of step back and reframe where you're at and provide some clarity for yourself. Thinking out of the box, thinking creatively, and thinking about flexibility. I know I've talked a lot about flexibility, and I think that's a very important thing. Um, Also, I think reaching out for support. And here I'd say not only to colleagues, but also actually to the chamber. I want to thank Avon Chamber, who offers us so many resources to be able to work on things, to learn things, and to be able to um, work with this situation of COVID and keep our businesses running. And that also, again, this time of COVID offers a possibility for learning and growing and reaching beyond what you might have imagined. We're all kind of learning what our coping skills are about, what our sense of um, resilience is about. And it's a challenge, but also it can be something that we say, oh, I can do this thing or that thing, and it works. Or maybe I need to try something else, and to find out what it is that, in fact, thinking about what your customers or what the people who are coming to you need at this point and how you meet those needs. So that's what I would offer to my fellow chamber members.
I
Yeah.
think that's very insightful, Susan. Anything else you'd like to add before we close?
Well, I just would like to say once again, first of all, thank you for having me. This has been a wonderful, wonderful experience. And just to say again that Women Reshaping Lives is a counseling practice that brings healing, learning, and growing to women going through major life transitions. And that I bring my own life story and experience along with my clinical knowledge to this process. And that I truly offer support for transformative change. And it's really been a pleasure to talk with you today.
Well, thank you, Susan. It's been a pleasure speaking with you as well. You've been listening to Chamber Chat 10 at 10. We hope that you will join us again next time. We've been speaking with Susan Levine of Women Reshaping Lives. Thank you.